Hazur yesterday has promised to continue his comments on the...
From where?
That was قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ.
مثلكم يوحى إلي إنما إلهكم إله واحد. The verse which we were discussing was not this, it was another verse.
Yeah, this one was...
لاهية قلوبهم.
لاهية قلوبهم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لاهية قلوبهم وأسروا النجوى الذين ظلموا هل هذا إلا بشر مثلكم أفتعتون السحر وأنتم تبصرون. I said that the very psychological attitude of the people who reject prophets has been mentioned in this short verse, and the declaration is very profound. Every prophet who comes is rejected invariably on account of being a Bashar and on account of being a Sahir. As far as the question of Bashar is concerned, it is always related to their expectations of the Prophet to come. How can they object to him being a Bashar if they had believed in all the previous prophets to be Bashar? If according to their beliefs all the earlier prophets had been Bashar, how could they object to another Bashar? This is the point to be noted. This means by the time a new prophet arrives, the previous prophets have always been elevated to a position beyond the status of a Bashar. That is why when a prophet from among them like unto them, like, just show me.
Yes.
Illa basharum mithlukum. This is the objection. How could a man like you or like ourselves be a prophet of God? Which means that according to their beliefs, all the previous prophets were above Bashar. So when their understanding of prophets is distorted to that degree, how can they recognize if any prophet, because whenever a prophet would come, he would come as Bashar. Now the beauty of the Quranic statements is that they completely tally with each other and refer to each other and support each other. Now Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam is told by God that if this is the objection, then you tell them, yes, I am a Bashar, and yes, I am mithlukum. Qul innama ana basharun mithlukum. Exactly the same words are repeated. The Holy Quran says yes, because always the prophets are Bashar, there is no exception. And they are like the people who inhabit the world, all other humans. But with one difference. Annama yuha ilayya, annama ilahukum ilahu wahid. In Bashariyat, all prophets are exactly the same as non-prophets as well. But the distinguished marks of the prophets, or the distinguished mark of the prophets, is that Allah begins to reveal to him. So this is what they refer to when they object, that, oh people, our people, how can you believe in this person to be from God while he is a Bashar like unto you? Yet they also say أَفَتَعْتُونَ السَّحْرَ وَأَنْتُمْ تُبْصِرُونَ. If he is Bashar, why do they talk of sihr? This is the contradiction. And if the prophets are ordinary humans, like this verse implies, if Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was just like another human being with no difference, in the sense that, as I have explained, yuha ilayya annama ilahukum ilahun wahid, then what is the point in doing najwa? Why do they get together? Because a man who is just an ordinary human without any special qualities would die his own natural death. Nobody is going to support him. Moreover, what is there in him which we refer to as seher? So that means the Prophet's special qualities of godly support and divine succor to him, and also his character and qualities which remind people of divine qualities. He is a man who walks the same streets with such dignity, with such nobility, as is only possible from those who are really the servants of God, or have imitated the ways of God. When they see this, the problem begins. Then they say, we have told our people that he is just one of you, like you, yet he appears different to them. How will they believe us? Because Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as he walked the streets of Mecca, was amazingly different from the ordinary people of Mecca. Everybody could see it, even the blind could feel. So this was their problem. To dismiss him as a basharum mithlukum verbally could be done, but how would people believe it when they see the difference? So they say your eyes are in fact spellbound by him. It is his magic which makes you see him differently. He's an ordinary man, only a magician. So this excuse which they invented to mislead the people was done in the najwa. They had to sit together to discuss the whole matter and to find an excuse which would be plausible in the eyes of a community which believed in magic. So that is why all the prophets before, if not all, many among them, have been blamed to be sahir rather than a person with a transformed personality. You understand this point? Let him finish this and then we'll turn to the next verse as well, because it goes on building the same theme. Now, the Holy Quran, after quoting them, requires Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say, قُلْ رَبِّي يَعْلَمُ الْقَوْلَ فِي السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. I have spoken on this yesterday. I spoke on this yesterday. Now I turn to the next verse after this. بَلْ قَالُوا أَضْغَاثُ أَحْلَامٍ. They don't take one fixed stand. They go on changing their stance. Like شجرة خبيثة لتسقط من فوق الأرض ما لها من قرار. So they are, Rasulullah sallam is kalima tayyibah. As against all these, kalimatul khabisa are making an effort, and they reveal themselves by changing stances, today this and tomorrow that. Having said that, إنه الساحر أفتعتون السحر, and that is the meaning that Rasulullah sallam is sahir. Then they know that this will not suffice, because the life of sahir is known to the Arabs, was known to the Arabs, I should say. And they know the difference between the sahir, because today is something else, and then he is not always doing sihr. He can't change his personality with sihr altogether. So they live like ordinary people, ignorant and small and mean and things, you know. When they do their sihr, then of course they rise to a higher level of deception. But sihr cannot work continuously, even to change the personality of the sahir himself. So these flaws and drawbacks keep them thinking of something better, something new. So one of the things they come out with is بَلْ قَالُوا أَضْغَاثُ أَحْلَامٍ. They say they are the natural, you know, his psyche which is presenting things to him. His desires, his wishes, they create illusions for him. So Adghathu Ahlam here in fact refers to such dreams as a product of human psyche. But this becomes contradictory. People who rave because of their suppressed desires and things, they're never coherent. You see, they are not like Sahirin or Sahir either, because a Sahir is a willful deceit, you know, a willful deceiver, and he has full command of what he is creating. But Adghathu Ahlam have no direction, no character, no style, and they are never, the people who see such dreams are never consistent. And there is nothing impressive about them anyway. So again, they try to mislead the people by saying, you know, you might have experienced some dreams and things, so he's only a dreamer. But when he is declared as dreamer, then they also realize that his word, his speech is so superior. His word is so superior, his speech is so excellent. And what he presents as wahi, as a revelation from God, has a great quality of literary quality, which is bound to impress the people. So what can they do about it? A man with Adghathu Ahlam cannot win favors all around in the society. So they say, no, bal huwa shair. So now we think better, yes please, forget about this, come to this. In reality, he is a poet. Right? Here, the Holy Quran comes to the final conclusive rebuttal. The moment they say Bal huwa shair, the Holy Quran throws a challenge. Fal yatina. Now they throw a challenge. I'm sorry. The Quran has not yet started rebutting. In fact, the style the Holy Quran has presented all this is a rebuttal in itself, because the contradictions are so apparent. But here, the question of the Bashar and the question of belief in earlier prophets is made further elaborately clear. فَلْيَأْتِنَا بِآيَةٍ كَمَا أُرْسِلَ الْأَوَّلُونَ. Having said that, they say, all right, he should bring to us at least one sign, one single sign, which the prophets earlier than Muhammad Rasulullah used to bring. Right? That shows that their concept of signs from God was so completely distorted that it was beyond a Bashar ever to come with such a sign as is demanded. So in fact, no prophet of God before Rasulullah sallam had ever shown such a sign as they were demanding, because they were all Bashar. And their being all Bashar is further verified by the remaining part of the verse innama ana basharun, which says qul innama ana basharun mithlukum yuha ilayya annama ilahukum ilahun wahid. He is the same God who is the God of all mankind, of all ages. And the Bashar in this sense are never different in their aptitudes and qualities. So, like I am, all the prophets before me were like this. There was no change. Because like I am Bashar, like similar to you in human qualities, so also I am similar to other Bashar prophets in the quality of being recipient of Allah's revelation. So two similarities are clearly mentioned. As Bashar, I am like you. As prophet, I am like the earlier Bashar. Bashar in plural, of course. Who were Bashar as yet, and yet they were raised to the status of prophets because of wahi. So this is the distinctive mark. Now here, when they say فَلْيَاتِنَا كَمَا أُرْسِلَ الْأَوَّلُونَ بِآيَةٍ كَمَا أُرْسِلَ الْأَوَّلُونَ, what they are demanding is the product of their fanciful imagination about prophets, not the reality. And such a sign as they demand has never been given to earlier prophets. That is why when they demanded that Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam should rise to heaven bodily and descend from heaven bodily, they had in mind not a real prophet who had done it, but what they expected a prophet to have done, some prophets to have done in the past. That is why Allah rejected this. No, this will not happen. Again the word Bashar is repeated there. Hal qul subhana rabbi hal kuntu illa basharan rasula. So this is the entire history of prophethood and Bashariyat as compressed in these few verses of the Holy Quran. Now the Holy Quran reminds them of something which is a stern warning. It says you are talking of earlier prophets. You are talking of earlier prophets having brought this and brought that. You are claiming that Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam couldn't show a single sign which was shown by the earlier prophets. But tell us, why, despite those signs, people before you had rejected those prophets? What a beautiful argument. It is here that the rebuttal begins. All right, go on bragging whatever you do. But strange it is, according to your statements, the earlier prophets came with such clear signs as would leave no doubt in the minds of the observers or the recipients of their message that he has to be from God, because Bashar cannot show such signs. Right or wrong? Right. Then answer us. Why was it that God destroyed such people before them who had rejected prophets of their time? If they appeared to them as superhumans, why did they reject them? And when they rejected them on the plea that they look like Bashar, what happened to them? God destroyed them, one after the other. They were wound up from the face of earth and completely buried in the oblivion of the past. So this is what a beautiful and powerful style of argumentation. First, the presentation of their case is in itself done in a manner that reveals their weaknesses, their contradictions, their, shifting from one position to another and so on. And in the end, this is the final stroke, which completely shatters their case. We don't argue with you. Maybe they were, we accept. In fact, this is what is implied. For the sake of argument, we accept that they were not ordinary Bashar. They were superhuman. They brought such signs as you are demanding from me. But then what happened? Why did people reject? Why did it happen invariably every time a prophet of God came? And if they were right, why were they destroyed? Why were they wiped out from the face of earth? أَفَهُمْ يُؤْمِنُونَ? And if people like these have been destroyed and completely annihilated by God for the reasons they present, for the reasons of their rejection, now will they believe or will they not? It's up to them. If they believe, they will live when they survive. If not, then they'll be written off like earlier people before them had been written off. This is such perfect, such a complete, decisive, comprehensive argument that the like of such argumentation cannot be found in ordinary human experience. This is how the advocate should learn the art of advocacy. See? Do you understand? So I had to, there's others, of course, other verses which follow, but to answer just one verse, I had to expand my answer with reference to the verses before and after, because this is what makes the whole story. Understand? Please.